Okay.
I am currently painting, so
Yeah.
I can be moved
Evan's
out of here
painting.
whenever.
What?
I just don't
Yeah.
have access to
I'm in charge of moving Evan
functions.
around.
I do have Steven's order. That is Steven's order. I haven't ordered yet.
You know, one thing that on the topic of dirty little secrets, that I will one day have, and it will be cursed, and I will hate it the entire time. Mac and cheese bread bowl from Panera.
Okay.
That is so much carb.
Yeah, it really is.
Jesus Christ.
But like they offer it, so I have to try it at least once, right?
Oh my goodness.
You can't just have somebody be like, "Do you want mac and cheese inside a loaf of bread?" and say no, right?
Whoa.
Not
Okay, hang on.
forever.
This story is amazing. This story goes so
What?
fucking deep. The guy who owns these sandwich restaurants, Ike Shahade, is a San Francisco born guy, but both his parents are from Palestine.
I mean, that does explain like some of the sandwich fillings a bit more.
I mean, yeah, the halal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's raw.
I hate that I would
wild.
like eat most of these sandwiches.
I know, like these are good.
Like, if I met him, I would punch him in the face. But like, then I would find out that he is Sandwich Ike,
It's just
and I feel a little bad.
You'd feel a
It's
little
just
bad.
like-
You'll feel a little bad for Sandwich Ike.
It's just like, you're right, but why do you have to say it like that?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
all of these sandwich names.
What the fuck is Dutch Crunch bread?
Oh, Dutch Crunch is like a San Francisco thing. It's basically like a roll, but they put like rice paste on top of the bread while it's baking, so it makes this like crackly, crunchy crust.
That sounds delicious.
It's really good. It's excellent. It's excellent sandwich bread, and it also jacks the fuck out of your mouth.
Perfect.
I feel like this is like an Amoroso's rule, where like a sandwich just isn't quite a sandwich without it.
Yeah, like I said, okay, so a San Francisco like sandwich is not quite a San Francisco sandwich without Dutch Crunch. So you were correct there.
I hate it. Wait, is this the one that Tyler's gonna be on? Because it's Rogues?
Is Tyler coming? I don't know.
No, Tyler's busy with Mother's Day stuff today.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say it sounds like he wasn't coming.
Well, guess he misses out on Rogues.
Man, this menu is like impassably large. Oh, they got a sandwich named after Adam Richman.
Is Adam Richmond?
Anyway, oh, that reminds me, before I forget, Sean, we have a strat for the final boss battle.
Oh, good.
Lol.
It involves a TikTok, Soup casting some spells,
Okay.
and you dying. And we've already got the dying part down, which is essential. So like,
So for the record, Adam Richman is the guy who was the host of Man vs. Food. He's a food TV legend.
Yeah, I shockingly have not watched a lot of food TV. I've watched a ton of food YouTube, but not a lot of food TV.
I don't know what the fuck to order from this place. There's so many sandwiches.
Oh, they have a fake ass cheesesteak. Oh, that's sad. That's sad for you. This is going to sound terrible when I say it out loud. The backstabber looks pretty good.
Wow. Where's Dan?
You want me to go get him? Are we ready? Do you have your?
No.
Yeah. I was going to, and then I was like, well.
I mean,
Wow.
honestly, at this point, if Dan comes in, I'll just pick a random sandwich.
I mean, I could go get him.
Where is he?
I can see him in a different channel.
Oh no, just
Dan.
leave him there.
He's
leave
playing
him
Civ.
there and pick a sandwich.
He's playing
No.
Civ 6.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Dan. Okay, tell Dan he has exactly 5 minutes.
All right, I'll be back in exactly 5 minutes.
Oh, wait, that means that I can't tell Sean the plan. It's fine. Sean's not. Well, essential Sean is not essential to this plan. All right, so you cast ceremony on the entire party
Okay,
once a week.
what would that actually do for us?
It gives
Everyone
all of
gets
us plus
married.
2 AC.
Yeah. Everyone
I-
gets plus 2 AC
I
because they're all
really-
married to Sean, who dies, widows everyone, and then you get remarried.
I am not certain that plus 2 AC would do a lot for us in this particular
No, it
instance.
wouldn't. It wouldn't, but it's hilarious and I love it.
Good Jiminy Jesus.
Like, by the time you can cast Revivify, you don't really need the plus 2 AC that much anymore.
Do you know what? Actually, I am gonna get a backstabber.
What is a backstabber?
Halal chicken, creamy Caesar, marinated artichoke hearts, and provolone.
Did
So-
I tell y'all that so at work they get food trucks to come once a month? Just one food truck, but every month it's a different food truck. And last month it was
Oh shit, they got Zaps chips. I'm getting some.
a burger food truck, and they had fucking Wagyu burgers.
Yeah, that tracks.
Ooh, in a food truck. That's very uncommon here. First of all, there's not like a huge food truck culture, so there's like
The thing
you know-
about like Wagyu burgers here is or just Wagyu burgers in general is that they're always going to be a little bit less expensive than having a steak
Oh.
because they can just use whatever part of the cow.
yeah. It was something I did not get because I was like, like it's less expensive, but it was also like $6 more than anything else on the menu. So I was like, meh.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Like I think I'm good just paying $12 for a burger instead of 16. It seems a little bit expensive. They had all kinds of stuff. They had a falafel burger,
Mm.
which was interesting.
Wait, did you say falafel or something in
Waffle.
waffle?
Falafel.
Oh, okay. You did in fact say something waffle.
No, falafel.
Okay, falafel. That makes
Yeah.
more sense. All right.
That was pretty good. It was like one of those delis where they just have like 30 different menu items. It's like inexplicably have like fish, wings, chicken, burgers.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be here at some point.
Okay.
Just some point.
Oh, we have so much. We have to do this fast because we have so much stuff to do.
How many rogues and
While we're
classes are
waiting
there?
for Diane.
Man, my wallet takes a beating every time I do this.
No.
Thank God for credit cards.
Oh no.
It'd be so much cheaper if it wasn't DoorDash too. But then we'd have to
Yeah.
drive like 1,000,000 miles.
Just think, you could just not be capable of driving.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. Then everything is door dashed.
That sounds awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Sounds
is.
expensive.
Yeah, and occasionally when you're like, "Hey, can you deliver this to this door number?" They'll put it in front of the number, like the one outside of your garage, instead of at the front door. I'm not bitter. It's okay. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm gonna order groceries now.
It feels wrong to have the loading screen up on your stream
With no Ace Attorney
without
music.
the Ace Attorney Chronicles music. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
It's not an Ace Attorney stream.
It's not, but that menu music is fantastic.
It is really
It's
good.
true.
I really need like some menu music for my loading screens and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, doing that would either risk copyright infringement or cost money.
Yeah.
Mostly costs money.
Mostly cost money.
A little
Oh my
re-up.
god!
Wow, I wonder who that sign is for.
And so, yo, what?
I hate
I am
this.
so tired today.
Same.
Yeah, I ordered a. Thank God. You know what? I take back everything bad I've ever said about Ike. He has Red Bull on his menu. He has Red Bull and Zapp's chips. Like he's okay.
I actually I fucked up my coffee shot so badly I gave up and got a yerba mate out of the fridge.
Damn.
That's how my morning's going.
Red
Damn.
Bull
Wow.
is one half of the equation of why I feel so bad today.
Yeah. Well.
Josh, when are you leaving?
Well, apparently I have to be there by 5.
Okay.
So I would have to leave at 4 at the latest.
Okay. Okay.
But most likely I would have to leave a little bit earlier because
Yeah, I was gonna say
they do want me to. They do also want me to cook, so I have to go to the grocery store.
So 3 to 3:30.
Probably.
I was
Okay.
about to say you don't have time, but then I remembered. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We've also got to move their bedroom into the office.
Yeah.
I thought you did that yesterday.
No, we moved everything out, sort of, and also there was so much stuff to do yesterday. I was physically incapable of moving after yesterday.
Wow.
And we still got shit to do. I didn't even finish the Ethernet wiring. We had a lot of discussions about furniture placement.
We did. It's true.
And then so I've still got to do the wiring.
It has been a lot longer than 5 minutes.
You could poke him this time.
By the way, I have ordered a carbonator thingy.
Nice.
I don't know
Like
if
a
I'm gonna
soda
regret
stream?
this. What?
Like a soda stream?
Yeah, but the one where you can carbonate anything.
I will
I
say,
see.
have you bought extra CO2? Because the little one they sent you was really small and dinky.
Yeah, I got a bundle. It was on sale.
Nice.
So I got like what, 2 CO2 canisters plus whatever the little dinky one is that they give you.
Hello.
Can't believe you've done this.
Dan, that was a lot longer than 5 minutes.
Was it?
Yes.
All right.
It was
Goodbye.
actually
Good luck.
9 minutes. Almost 10 whole minutes.
no!
We had to vamp for so long.
I don't want to hear shit when you're all like, oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes and you show up like an hour 45.
Jesus. All right. Well, I'm gonna move Evan and me. Bye forever.
Farewell.
Bye.
Okay.
I was damn near early compared to you.
Am I an hour and 45 minutes late? I'm confused.
No, you're usually fine.
Hey!
It's just Josh.
Listen,
checks.
I give healthy updates as to my time.
No, you don't.
If I'm in my home, I don't. But like I don't show up like an hour late in my own home. That was Sean.
It was me.
Yeah, remember that time you were watching welding happen?
Oh, that was important.
Was it? Was it
Yes.
important?
That wasn't welding.
Now this is welding.
Hmm.
Okay, well, so I guess let's start the.
By the way, that wasn't an hour. That was 30 minutes, Josh. I'm just gonna let you know.
Welding is very important.
It was not welding.
So, rogue subclass tier list, huh? I haven't had caffeine this morning, and Sean is just barely starting his.
Good thing you had 4 minutes to get ready, waiting for me while I was late.
Yeah, well.
The caffeine's en route. That's the reason.
So, so what
Wow.
what I remember about thieves, or not thieves, rogues in general, is that most rogue subclasses don't do a lot.
Well, yeah, base rogue is kind of most of rogue.
Rogue is like 90% base class, and then like 10% the other stuff. Like I think I remember Arcane Trickster and Soul Knife being the most like does anything for the class rogues,
I
but
think you're
Maybe
largely
Phantom?
right. I don't remember.
I don't
what Phantom
I
does.
don't know what Phantom is. I don't think I've ever seen this subclass before.
Mads, did you play Phantom or Soul Knife?
Arcane Trickster is fully pogged.
Arcane Trickster is fully
However, Green Flame Blade / Booming Blade are bait, sadly.
Yeah, Dan can tell you all about that.
Well, it wasn't me.
What was it, Tyler?
I can tell you, I
Did
was
Tyler do the
I
math?
was the DM for Tyler, who got baited by Green Flame.
Yeah. Is it so is Green Flameblade bait just
They're
because
both bait.
I was like, are those cantrips just bait because they don't let you make a bonus attack?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. That's
The
what
potential
I thought.
for like a tiny bit of extra damage, but halving your chances. Well, that's not the exact math, but largely reducing your chances of getting a sneak attack is not worth it.
That's like
Oh, but
what
yeah.
that's like what your job is.
Yeah, but but you're totally right though that like Arcane Trickster has so much utility for a rogue.
Yeah, I honestly sometimes it feels like rogues don't have enough utility.
No, what? Okay.
Well,
Okay, compared to spellcasters, you just have to be creative with a rogue. Spellcasters just like let me sift through my spells to find the one that does
that's
exactly
what I mean.
what I need.
That's literally what I mean. Like, arcane tricksters are like, oh, I don't have to like fiddle with all this bullshit. I can actually just use the spells that like can just auto win for me.
so
But creativity.
Wow, imagine that.
to
No,
sum
Dan,
up,
this is a game of numbers.
we're starting with Arcane
That's true.
Trickster.
Which is the worst one
Which
to
is
start on.
the worst one to start with. I agree.
Do you want to start with the one after it?
No.
Okay.
Obey the
Arcane
So
Trickster.
here's the thing is
alphabetical
I think
intelligence. They use intelligence.
They use intelligence. Oh god, that's pretty bad.
It's
Okay.
fine. They
No,
don't
it's
need the
it's fine.
intelligence.
I was gonna say you're not really going to be using spells that require a high score, right?
At all.
Like,
Like, if any.
You might pick up fireball.
No, I mean, what level? Like 13?
13, yes.
Do you get an unrestricted spell choice at 13?
Let's see.
Oh no.
God,
let's
yeah, this
let's
is
go
this is
over.
confusing.
Let's
No,
go
this is
over the
important.
Arcane
For
Trickster
14,
stuff.
14, you can get a fireball.
Okay,
But that's your
14.
one. That's your one choice.
So how
Of
do you pick spells as an Arcane Trickster? Because I think
most
this
of your
segues into-
spells. Yes, I'll answer that. Almost all your spells come from enchantment school and illusion school. At the very start, when you hit 3rd level, you are now an arcane trickster, and you get 2 spells that are enchantment and illusion, and 1 spell that could be anything, I believe. And then you get a further additional spell that's not restricted to enchantment and illusion at 8th, 14th, and 20th. So in total,
Nice.
you'll have 4 total spells that are not enchantment and illusion. Ever.
Okay.
And I mean, you get most of those pretty late.
Yeah. Which to be
You
fair,
really,
which
yeah.
to be fair, like we say that, but like what spells are you really going to be taking that aren't those? Because like honestly, for an arcane trickster, even if you wanted to go more into using spells over your like rogue features, like at third level spells, let's see, 13th level, you can pick up Hypnotic Pattern, which is an illusion spell, right? Or is it an enchantment? But either way, it's one of those two.
Sure, but you have to be 14th level to get a hypnotic pattern. That's
13.
Yeah.
Oh,
13.
14.
can't you swap
Right,
out
oh.
spells?
No, it's
Oh,
13.
no, you're right. It's 13 if it's enchantment or illusion. You're right.
Yeah.
Find Familiar is
so it's
solid
very
for
late.
scouting. Yeah, Find Familiar could be pretty good, but
Find Familiar, I think, is one of the best. One of the
Ooh.
best because of giving the help action.
Yeah.
that is true. Which is funny because
And it can activate sneak attack potentially.
True.
oh yeah, that's what the yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need sneak attack if you have advantage though, but like both.
Oh, dar. Sorry,
yeah,
I forgot.
yeah.
Both are good. Even if it fails to do the help action for some reason, it's still there for
I don't know if it can. Yeah, fair.
It's just an amazing, like at level 1 through 7, that might be, you only get one extra spell, like that's not enchantment illusion. That's a very good candidate for it. Other people might be like magic missile, but that's kind of lame.
Yeah, why would you take Magic Missile?
Don't you dare diss on Magic Missile.
Magic
Listen,
missile is
listen,
great, but I think it's kind of a waste on arcane.
Magic
Yes, sir.
Missile is like good, but Magic Missile is only really good if you have the spell slots to use it, and like you don't really get a lot of like wiggle room with Arcane Trickster. Like if you took Magic Missile, you could cast it twice at 3rd level and then 3 times at 4th level, and that just doesn't seem very efficient, does it?
Yeah, no, it's not great.
You can do. Yeah.
It is. I will say it is really funny because Arcane Trickster basically just gets a resource that lets them auto succeed on certain checks. So for instance, like taking the knock spell to unlock a door.
Yeah. Okay. I honestly do think find familiar would be their best thing, and like this is already a strong class. Like a rogue, like level 1 through 7 with nothing but a find familiar is a very good rogue.
Yeah. Find Familiar, they can cast spells. They have a special mage hand, which is pretty like this is like very dependent on what kind of game you're playing, but this can easily be pretty useful because it's an invisible floating hand that you can direct as you please.
We haven't seen Tyler use it because it's not combat.
I was gonna say, so the thing is that you get Versatile Trickster at 13th level, which lets you distract with your mage hand as a bonus action, but you have to have your mage hand out. Like the thing about combat is that it's not that you're bad at combat necessarily, but it feels like everything that an Arcane Trickster has to do in combat requires so much like action economy syncing setup. Right? Like you have to be invisible if you want creatures to have disadvantage on spells that you cast. You have to have your mage hand out if you want to use it to give yourself advantage, right? Spell Thief is like incredibly niche.
Yeah. I think well, mage hand luck, if you cast it like and then walk 100 feet, is it gone? Can it not follow you, or can it just float along behind you?
That is a good question.
I'm pretty sure
it
you can
vanishes
use
if
your
it is
action,
ever
yeah.
more than 30 feet away from you.
So you can use your action to make it follow. That's a little bit of a problem.
It does last for 1 minute, but that's like in the realm of like harder to use before a fight.
I'm thinking of a scenario where you get to pre-buff before a fight, and then if you're lucky, you might start within, I don't know, an average distance of like starting away from the enemies. You're starting like 60 feet away from the enemies. Great, you have your mage hand pre-buffed, but you're gonna have to run 30 feet forward and then use your action to move the mage hand 30 feet forward.
Yeah,
You have to somehow start the fight already within within 30 feet of the enemies.
Wait, but you can use your bonus action granted by cunning action to control the hand.
Okay, so that means but it still means it takes 2 turns to get there. Because otherwise, like a rogue, right, can use their bonus action to dash. A rogue can use their bonus action to disengage, right?
Or another attack.
These are useful things that a rogue can do.
Mm-hmm.
And also, one thing I'd prefer over using my bonus action to give advantage to one attack is just use my bonus action to get another attack, which is directly better.
Okay, so
Can
also
be directly meta, but
also
yeah,
like
I
this
see where
is
you're coming
consider this
Mm.
right is if you're using your mage hand and versatile trickster,
from. Wait, no.
like the really the use case of it is a little bit weird because you wouldn't be using it if there's only one target on the field, and it would be a little finicky to play with if there's a lot of targets. So you'd have to be like moving it in like a horde and like moving the hand over and then getting advantage. And like that can be useful because rogues have pretty limited options for advantage outside or for getting sneak attack outside of like having advantage. But also as an arcane trickster, you can just cast invisibility.
Are you playing with like flanking rules? Because I think most people don't use those. I'm not sure how Misty Step gives you advantage. Although Misty Step is, of course, amazing.
I do love Misty Step, but yeah, the rogues.
But most,
I was
we
saying
kind of have
Misty
to
Step is
assume no flanking rules.
Misty Step is good, but also like it's kind of less good on a rogue because rogues can just disengage.
I was
True.
gonna say rogues don't usually have that much.
They get a free
ability
Misty
issues.
Step every turn anyway.
Right, exactly. Misty Step, but you have to use your legs.
Listen, if you're playing a halfling rogue, you're in for the Misty Step goes faster.
Oh, that's true. The Misty Step is more value.
Yeah. A flanking game probably makes all melee characters just nut every turn.
Yeah, just really good. I mean, you would want to. I think it would like it boosts the value of having more than one melee character.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
imagine your paladin just getting advantage on every single attack. Like it's so
feel
easy
like-
to get advantage.
I
with
feel like
rules.
flanking rules are like one of those things that are like has been in the game for like a while and they didn't carry it over, and I can kind of see why they didn't, because like if you're fighting one creature,
It's an optional rule.
it is impossibly easy to get advantage, and that kind of breaks the game a little.
It does break the game. It's super overpowered. Anyway, I do think there are great spells that we are not in combat that I think Arcane Trickster.
Yeah,
like
I think
Disguise
Arcane
Self.
Trickster is like one of the most versatile and like utilitarian rogues. Just like in terms of how
Invisibility.
broadly they can apply their abilities.
Silent
I would say
Image.
I would say also like the thing is that consider that a lot of spells that exist for wizards do so to essentially take the place of a rogue, right? So for instance, a wizard can cast Disguise Self, right? But a rogue can cast Disguise Self and is already spec'd into Deception, right? So it's kind of like it turns a wizard into a jack of all trades, but it turns a rogue into like a specialization.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much like guaranteed to succeed at most things that you would want to do within your domain of magic. Which honestly, like I feel like it wouldn't be super out there to put Arcane Trickster in S just because of like its utility. But obviously,
I'm hesitant to put there. Yep.
But obviously, like we want to hew a little bit safer. But I think it would be hard to say that this is like less than an A tier class.
I was gonna suggest A tier just because we don't know where other things lie, and then we could readjust if needed. But it's gonna be what do you think, Dan? Because it could be S tier.
Oh, it could be, but I definitely don't want to put it there right now.
Yeah,
especially
I agree.
Cool.
because other classes might provide features that are effectively just better spells.
Better spells, yeah, that's fair.
We'll find out. This it's hard for a rogue to have as many options as an Arcane Trickster, but they might have better options.
That is true. What do you think? A?
Yeah, let's just do A tier.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, Assassin. I hate this class.
It's okay.
When you choose this archetype,
tier.
you gain proficiency with the
S tier.
Disguise Kit and the Poisoner's Kit.
They're never really clear about how the Poisoner's Kit works.
No, they're so wishy-washy about it. It's pretty evil actually.
But you get it.
At third
You do get
level, you are deadliest when you get the drop on enemies. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in the combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. So, I would say that the advantage is on the first turn of combat is like one of those things where it's nice and it's like essentially
On average, you get that on like a little more than half the enemies.
Right, I was gonna say it's like this is basically like a for an average combat like a 1/3 uptime on advantage. Okay.
You better
It might totally fail you though if you just roll bad on initiative.
Yes,
Just
correct.
roll-
It is
yeah.
dependent on your initiative.
And it doesn't
And-
give you anything to improve your initiative, so you better fucking pump
No.
it in every way you can.
So as I say, you
Yeah.
better take that. You better take the
Advantage is great,
the
though.
feature.
Alert or
Yeah.
whatever feat.
Yeah.
Advantage is good,
great,
and
though.
you are more likely to have to beat out others in
Mm.
initiative than not, just because you're
Yeah.
your
A rogue.
score- your dex.
Again, I think this is kind of campaign dependent because for most campaigns, your party's going to be annoyed when you want to just ambush everyone and you just want to sneak up on everything, and the party might be like, "Can we just like walk in like normal people?"
yeah,
like-
yeah. This is one of those like really annoying abilities.
It
'Cause you're like,
depends
I
on
want to
the
I want
play.
to surprise somebody.
Listen, I always wonder.
Ties rounds get kind of old after a while.
They do get kind of old. I'm in agreement there. I always wonder because I suspect a lot of parties maybe will actually absolutely prep and plan. And I think
Yeah.
it was either you, Dan, or Brendan who had a very different D&D experience. I think it was Brendan who when he switched, where they were facing off against some enemies, and he was like, "Gung ho, we charge in," and everyone else in the party had scrambled to run away. And he was like, "Oh,
Oh,
this is
no.
very different from what I'm used to."
Oh,
So on the
no.
one hand, our strategy of just fucking walk in and we go,
Yeah.
the Leroy Jenkins strategy that we seem to
Mhm.
have for
And listen, we
everything.
don't employ a Leroy Jenkins strategy. We
Well,
we
hold on.
employ a proper DPS raid pull.
Yes.
We pop hero and all DPS cooldowns and say fuck the healers.
You don't need healing if the enemy is dead.
Mhm.
Assassin would be better if it provided cooler poison mechanics over just giving you a bigger sneak attack. This is actually, I 100% agree with you. I think they should have leaned into the poison.
Well, hold on. Instead of giving bigger sneak attack, well, let's talk about the other features that Assassin
Okay,
gets.
at 9th.
Because
Yeah.
because
Oh,
this
God.
one is
At 9th level, you unfailingly create false identities for yourself. You must spend 7 days and 25 gold pieces to establish the history, profession, and affiliations for identity. You can't establish an identity that belongs to someone else. For example, you might acquire appropriate clothing, letters of introduction, and official-looking certification to establish yourself as a member of a trading house from a remote city so you can insinuate yourself into the company of other wealthy merchants. Thereafter, if you adopt the new identity as a disguise, other creatures believe you to be that person until given an obvious reason not to. So like, this is like one of those abilities that is like really strong in the weird niche that it exists in, but that niche is
Campaign
so
dependent, yeah.
small that like you would have to build a campaign for it. Because like, consider the fact that this isn't like
It's a
This isn't
ribbon
like-
feature in my opinion.
what?
It's
Yeah,
kind of
right.
like a ribbon feature.
But like the thing is that it is I think it has some mechanical teeth behind it because of its wording, right? It's not like they have to make perception or insight checks to like to check you. It's literally people believe you to be this person unless you give them an extremely obvious thing to say, which is like actually a surprisingly powerful like role playing mechanic for a game that is not really about role playing.
I mean, but on the other hand, if people believe let's say like your name is Jeff and you're trying to pretend you're Bob, hooray! And people now think you're Bob. But what if they didn't care that you were Jeff anyway? Like, it depends on the
Yes,
campaign.
correct.
You walk into a new city, no one knows who the fuck you are. Why make a secret identity?
Well,
Unless you're planning on going and assassinating some people and your party is just kind of side-eyeing you.
yeah,
Like,
right. Like, that's
Yeah.
the other problem is that
is this
like
a crime campaign?
like the thing is that I think there are uses for having a false identity that is not yourself, right? Because essentially having like a way to forge
Get out of
documentation,
jail free.
right? Not even that necessarily, but just being like, oh, I'm like your brother's cousin from the distant remote lands, right?
Oh my
And
God.
having people believe you about that and showing them certification, having mechanical teeth behind that is not like terrible. But also, yes, 100% you are correct. If you are doing this, the rest of your party can get fucked. They're not doing
Yeah.
anything. This is about you.
It does become a single person D&D.
Which is like, yeah, cool. You're playing the Hitman video game in Dungeons and Dragons. Congratulations, that's very nice for you. And you're gonna do it like once per game, at most. And the rest of your party gets to sit there and twiddle their thumbs while you do it. right? Like, yeah, there are, kind of cool applications, right? For like, if you're doing a heist, right? That would be pretty cool. Like, having a way to scope out, right? It's like the fucking scoping part of a payday mission where you're just like, guards over there, camera over here. Do 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 do.
If you just need someone assassinated, this is
like this is
good.
just so this is like so niche. Okay, anyway, let's read the other two. 13th level, you gain the ability to unerringly mimic another person's speech, writing, and behavior. You must spend at least 3 hours studying these 3 components of the person's behavior, listening to speech, examining handwriting, and observing mannerisms. Your ruse is indiscernible to the casual observer. If a wary creature suspects something is amiss, you have advantage on any charisma deception check you make to avoid detection. And at 17th level, you become a master of instant death. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised, it must make a Constitution saving throw, DC 8 plus your Dexterity modifier plus your proficiency bonus. On a failed save, double the damage of your attack against the creature. The amount of times you will use this ability, I could probably count on 2 hands.
Yeah.
Which one? The imposter
Death
one.
Strike.
Oh,
Imposter Strike you do on 1 hand.
yeah, it was 2 hands. Okay, fair enough.
This class is all over the place because you basically you get a vague combat ability at 3rd level, and then for the next 14 levels, everything you get is like specifically geared towards like social deception. You become Sociomogus.
And like, sure, it depends on your party, and like what Antilog said, like that stuff is stuff you could do, and it's funny, but like that is kind of role playing. Not necessarily against your party, but you're hiding things from your party, and not everyone does that.
You're role playing like in like bubbled away from your party.
It's a game within a game,
which is like can be interesting, and some people like it, but I think the vast majority of people are like a little fed up with it.
Oh, my argument was going to be that I don't know if that needs to be the 9th level feature of your class to do that.
Yeah,
I think if you're going to do that with your party, like by all means go for it. If your
Doesn't
party's
it feel
down
like a
for
3rd
that.
level ability?
But does it have to eat the 9th level slot of this class? Like you could argue that you did that before you joined up, right?
That's what I'm saying. It felt like a ribbon attached to a real ability.
Yeah.
It is really funny because like the thing is that these abilities exist and they're like pretty role play focused, but at the same time, most of the rogue abilities are like good enough. Like we said, 90% of rogue is just base rogue anyway, so it's not like you're that much less effective than like another class. But like the actual utility you get out of your the entire middle of your class is like so niche that it's really hard to recommend using this.
It's really specific, yeah. I mean, if in that one campaign that's built exactly for it, I'm sure you'll have a blast. But it's like you're gonna get like one of them,
right? Like this is the thing, right? Is that these abilities just are interesting, but also just reveal something like kind of fundamentally flawed about role play abilities inside D&D, which is that there's no larger structure for them to really play within. It's just all vagaries.
Well, let's rate it, but let's also, before you rate it, think about it objectively. Like, this, assuming if every combat started with a surprise round, we're just going to assume this for a second.
Okay.
This class and each combat lasts 2 to 3 turns, and you're going to get a crit on each combat at the start of each turn.
I feel like
basically equivalent to about. Let me finish for a second. Okay. That's basically equivalent to another turn of attacking, and that's. If it's a 2-turn combat, that means you're doing 50% more damage than a normal rogue. 3-turn combat, you're doing 33% more damage. That's strong, but what percentage of combats are you getting a surprise round on?
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel about this, is that the like actual uptime of this ability is like pretty sketchy.
You're gonna feel good when it does happen. I feel like even if you're like pushing your party to do surprise rounds like all the time, you're at best doing a surprise on like 1 of 3 combats. In my opinion.
You know what? I think exactly the same ratio.
I was going to
pushing for it.
I was going to generally say half, but I could go. It's going to be somewhere in that ballpark of it's not going to be. You're never going to get it every combat. I don't think you can rely on that.
You could force it a bit, but you can't always have it.
Yeah,
and you're gonna feel really bad. You're gonna feel miserable when you don't have it.
When you
exactly,
don't have
right?
it.
The thing is that this leads itself to a really boring style of play because you have one interesting ability from your subclass that you want to use but you're not gonna be able to use it all the time, and like it's gonna feel really bad, actually, like exceedingly bad when you don't even have advantage on attack rolls because you rolled badly on initiative. Like it's such a like sucks to suck kind of like ability, and it's the only one you have for a solid 14 levels, and then at 17th level you get another ability that is basically the same. It just augments your assassinate, right? You get one ability really in combat.
And it's not guaranteed to augment it because
there's a lot of time where you're going to be a rogue and not an assassin. Exactly, right? It doesn't actually like it is technically better, but only very slightly. I feel like to me this kind of is like a D tier class. It's ever so slightly better.
It's either D or F tier for combat alone, and then does the utility push it any higher?
Let's think. Do you think in a surprise round, I think an assassin is more valuable to a party than an arcane trickster, actually.
I would agree.
And
because like
an arcane trickster
front loading a crit like that is like really valuable, especially for
it is. Because like I don't like assassin, but I do want to like rate it objectively. But arcane trickster would be able to get one of its 2 attacks advantage per turn if it did like the find familiar shit, which is also really, really strong.
It's also just arcane trickster just generally has more utility. Like imagine
A lot more.
Right, like imagine like, you can spend an entire week and some gold pieces to assume a new identity at level like 9. Or at level 3, you can cast Disguise Self and use your cranked up deception
That's true.
skill check to just kind of like browse your way through the entire game.
Meanwhile, the assassin after turn 1 is a nothing rogue. They no longer have features.
Do you know what? It does kind of feel like that. It does kind of feel like Assassin Rogue is like a class built for one-shots. I would want to play for one session and be done with it.
And multi-classes. I've used it in multi-classes to get absurd levels of damage from guaranteed auto crits. Theoretical. I've never actually played it.
Theoretically.
When you like theorize some crazy ass Gloomstalker paladin smiting assassin rogue.
Is there a way to build that where you could actually have fun playing it while you level?
No, not
That's
at
kind
all.
of what I thought.
But you can get to the point where you do like a fucking 1,000 damage.
Well, what do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't think it's F tier.
I don't think it's F tier either.
I think there's gonna be rogues with nothing going for them. This does have things going for it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Is it C or D? Because I
lean closer to C than F, but I probably lean closer to D.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, we'll reevaluate this at the end because there's a chance that if the other rogues are really bad, then this one plus the incredibly niche. Is it good in its niche?
Is it good in its niche?
It takes a long. I feel like I don't like it in its niche because it lends itself to a solo playstyle where your party needs something else for them to be doing that's fun. Because if you're spending 7 days fucking off on your own, and does the party just AFK? Like, I don't know. I don't like it in its niche unless you're playing a really specific playstyle or
a really specific,
also is
really slow game.
Or you're all playing like assassins or like charisma, like intrigue.
Right, if everybody played an assassin, it'd be extremely funny, right?
yeah. You need this would fit. It would be fine in one of those campaigns, but like.
Also, like this is the thing, right? And this is very much going to depend on your game. But sometimes, like even auto critting will not kill somebody if they're a sufficiently like leveled character.
But it is going to do approximately double damage, which is valuable.
It is, but if your whole party has a surprise round, do you really need that?
And the one thing I didn't think about is what if you're playing a campaign where your sneak attacks are one-shotting things anyway? The crit doesn't do anything.
That's also true, right? Okay, yeah, no, that's true. Like, not every game is like a game where I run where like all of the kings are like 40th level fighters or whatever, right? There's a lot of games where people are just commoners. Everyone is a commoner. Your sneak attack doesn't really matter.
The other campaign I'm running, they're fighting like kobolds and goblins, and the rogue is one-shotting them whenever they get a sneak attack. But they're not always getting a sneak attack because they're not like metagaming to get a sneak attack every turn. Although
I'm okay with
could
D.
be. Yeah, let's just do D.
Okay, yep. So Inquisitive, which is you excel at rooting out secrets and unraveling mysteries.
Oh boy.
So basically, this and Mastermind are like the two like Sherlock Holmes rogues. This one is the Sherlock rogue, and the other one is the Moriarty rogue. So the Inquisitive, you have an ear for deceit. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you develop a keen ear for picking out lies. Whenever you make a Wisdom Insight check to determine whether a creature is lying, treat a roll of 7 or lower on the d20 as an 8. So it's like a weaker version of Reliable Talent, but you get it at 3rd level.
It's niche, but it's not mechanically niche. I like that.
Yeah, starting at 3rd
It's like-
level, you can use a bonus action to make a Wisdom Perception check to spot a hidden creature or object, or make an Intelligence Investigation check to uncover or decipher clues. What
one's
the fuck
super
that
niche.
means? Who knows?
Oh, I hate this feature, honestly. I think this is one of the worst features out there because if there's ever a situation where you can want to be making perception and investigation checks, it doesn't matter if it's a bonus action or an action.
Yeah, right? Like
Maybe like in the 1 in a million campaigns where there's like an Indiana Jones ass wall closing on you and you need to find the secret button. Like
you need an Amogus style one shot with all rogues. That'd be extremely funny. Whoever gets their sneak attack off first wins.
But you can't hide from them because one rogue is this.
One rogue is the
type.
oh no, it's
And this is
it's exactly like Trouble in Terrorist Town. Like one person is detective.
well, okay, this eye for detail feature basically doesn't exist.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
this
to
is
figure this.
Okay, so like the only thing
re-
I could think about this is if a creature is hidden, like for instance,
Stealth in combat, perhaps.
right. So like
Yes.
this is a thing that's common for creatures like kobolds and goblins, especially if they're run as written in like Mines of Phandelver, for instance.
Take the hide action.
They take the
Okay,
hide
then
action to like
that's
fuck
fair.
you, right? Like that can be useful, but that's like pretty niche.
Yeah, no, that's fair though. That is a use.
Yeah, but that's sort of the only use to
Which
do
is-
that you would find of this
And
in
it-
combat. You're right.
and I-
is if
I
they
don't-
hid.
I don't understand
Mhm.
this latter half of the feature because intelligence investigation check to uncover or decipher clues is like what the skill is already meant for. This feels really redundant.
Yeah, but now you can do it as a bonus action.
Oh, true.
You can decipher or uncover clues in combat as a bonus action.
What the
You could
fuck?
dodge roll into that wall and then bonus action investigate the wall.
Oh my god. Say team of annihilation. Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Anyway, at 3rd level, you gain the ability to decipher an opponent's tactics and develop a counter to them. As a bonus action, you make a Wisdom Insight check against a creature you can see that isn't incapacitated, contested by the target's Charisma Deception check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if you have disadvantage on it. The benefit lasts for 1 minute or until you successfully use this feature against a different target. So I have a question, Dan. Is having advantage? What is the math on having advantage on an attack versus making 2 attacks?
Making 2 attacks is slightly better.
On the basis that you might hit both of them, so you'll get a
Yes.
tiddly extra bit. In terms
Exactly.
of chance to hit, it's identical, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yep.
But it is slightly better.
So this is like, okay. It
This is very low impact.
It's pretty low impact, but it is useful in the circumstance in which you just want free sneak attack.
Okay, but this doesn't give you advantage.
No, it doesn't give you advantage, but it will let you sneak attack against a target with like none of your allies around it, which is the use case for it.
Okay, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
And that benefit lasts for 1 minute, so you can keep doing it. So you can actually do it first turn and then start multi-attacking.
Bonus action.
Yeah.
True.
That's good. That's good.
So it's not the worst. I tend to find that a lot of rogue subclass features are about giving them sneak attack in situations in which they wouldn't normally have sneak attack.
Yeah, we'll get the swashbuckler eventually.
Yeah, we'll get
I
to
think- I think
swashbuckler.
I think one of the best cases for this actually is this solves one of the main weaknesses of rogues that I found is rogues tend to have high initiative, which sucks because they're
Yes,
the first
yeah, that's
melee
correct.
class in.
Oh,
That's very true.
This lets you solve that. Also, like it works for ranged rogues quite well because there's no range limit.
There is no range
and,
limit. Oh,
and
that
they
is true.
can't And they can't. They don't use their bonus action. Well, maybe they do, depending.
And
on
it makes you feel, and it synergizes well with your Ear for Deceit, so you feel good about your non-combat feature, and it feels good in combat too. I like
That's true.
Ooh.
You have a floor for the numbers you can roll, which is pretty.
I love
decent.
that this issue of rogues rolling well on initiative and no one being near them is just a non-issue for our party because Tyler can't roll well on initiative to save his.
I know
goddamn life.
it's never come up.
But it's such an issue.
No. The one time Tyler did roll well, you sapped half his initiative.
I felt good.
For most rogues though, it does suck to be the first one up there.
That is very true. So this does solve that problem, which is funny because it basically just shows you that rogues have a lot of problems.
They have a lot of solutions though.
So at 9th level, you gain advantage on wisdom, perception, or intelligence investigation checks if you have moved no more than half your speed on the same turn.
I guess so.
I guess this just makes you
Out of
better
combat.
at-
That's great.
Out of combat,
Oh.
it's good, and then also like in combat, it synergizes with your insightful fighting.
It's alright.
It's not the most impactful 9th level feature, like
Very unimpactful.
it's just like a slight
Wait.
buff to like your already existing abilities.
No, this does not synergize with your insightful fighting. This is the
Oh
bad
no,
one.
you're right. It's
No,
not.
it's not
it's
insight.
Not
It's
you're right.
just perception.
It's perception and investigation.
Okay.
What do you
This
use
So
is,
this
it
is
for, then?
basically only. It has that. It slightly improves your ability to find hidden enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Combat.
combat. It's not.
Out of
I don't think it's meant for
combat.
combat then.
But out of combat,
It's a
Oh,
great
you and your
ability.
fucking perception.
perception. But out of combat, just advantage, flat out advantage on all wisdom and
On all
perception
investigation
and
checks.
investigation checks. Some characters would fucking love that, and if you're playing this character, you're probably very
Yeah, like,
happy with this.
If
feature.
you're playing any game in which these two roles come up, which quite a lot of them do, I would say these are very, very common roles.
and you're probably expertising them.
This
on
is
this
this
class.
is a shockingly potent ability for being a non-combat ability, given that you get it at 9th level.
I would totally play it.
Okay, at 13th
Yeah,
level.
I like it.
You know what? Fair enough. At 13th level, your senses are almost impossible to foil. As an action, you sense the presence of illusions, shape changers not in their original form, and other magic designed to deceive the senses within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't blinded or deafened. You sense that an effect is attempting to trick you, but you gain no insight into what is hidden or into its true nature, and you can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier minimum of once, and you gain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest.
Garbage.
Bad. 13th level. Ew.
Terrible.
At 13th level, or 17th level, you learn to exploit a creature's weaknesses by carefully studying its tactics and movement. While your insightful fighting feature applies to a creature, your sneak attack damage against that creature increases by 3d6. How exciting!
Is that much at this level? At that 17th level, your sneak attack is 96. So
yeah,
yes, it's like,
yeah.
but plus your base attack, so you're only increasing your damage by like 20%, I would guess.
That
And
it feels like one of those things that is a numerical upgrade, but is extremely boring.
And it also requires you to use your insightful fighting.
Your setup. Which
You probably will.
Which you
but
probably
no,
will. And
you'll
I mean,
probably use like every other combat, to be honest.
until you get the 17th.
That was at 17th.
Yeah, okay,
you would
then
then be
17.
using it against every creature.
I don't know.
Although you're not guaranteed to get it off because
Yeah.
they get to make a deception check.
I think at 17th level, if you at 17th level, even at this with this feature, if you already have a melee guy up there, it might be statistically more damage to ignore this feature and just start dual wielding and running up there.
Only
I'd have to do the math.
Only if you're a dual wielding rogue. If you're a ranged rogue,
Well, if you're a range rogue, you're always going to be using your
Insightful eye.
fighting. Yeah. Anyway.
yeah.
Is that
You're gonna be nice and safe.
is that terrible? Actually, I think for a ranged rogue, it's not like
I-
awful to be able to choose your targets.
It's totally fun.
I also have a slightly hot take, which is the fact that rogues are so fucking squishy that arguably more of them should be ranged rogues.
Yeah.
You just really miss out on the
Extra opportunity for a sneak
extra
attack.
True.
And like
true.
rogues are squishy, but they do get access to like disengages if you really do need to get out.
That's why I think crossbow expert rogues are the best.
Yeah. Best of both
They
worlds
are.
right there, honestly.
Yeah. Isn't crossbow expert only like 30 feet though?
Oh, I don't know.
barely
Like
ranged.
crossbow, hand crossbow.
Hand crossbow,
It
yeah.
helps a lot.
Mm.
I think it helps a lot.
Can you heavy attack with these?
No.
No, it's a light weapon.
Oh, are you talking
Hand
about
crossbows.
like with
a
sharpshooter?
Sharpshooter, yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
you can.
Yeah, it's 30,
Oh.
120.
And that would give you the 120-foot range. But heavy attacking on a rogue is usually pretty dumb.
It's usually pretty bad, right?
yeah.
Um,
Because you do not want to miss at all.
Unless
as a
unless you
rogue.
had any way of getting advantage, in which case you could just play an elf and
yeah.
You-
But this
pump,
is,
you know.
You could heavy attack on the second
understand.
attack, so it actually does damage.
but then we're getting
That
into
is
then we're getting
true.
into stupid like
Yeah.
like crossbow expert, sharpshooter, elven accuracy, and then they're like, why the fuck are you a rogue? Be a fighter.
Yeah, just play a fighter.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Be anything, but that's not a rogue.
I think I'm willing to go with most of the time. If you're a ranged rogue, you're probably not bonus action attacking.
I think
Yeah,
that
is
fair
correct.
to say. How do we feel about this class? Because I feel like it is.
I think it's very good.
I would tend to agree, right?
Look at its 1 through 9. I don't
One
like
through
it that
9,
much
which is like the heavyweights, is like pretty solid. Like in most regards, like it doesn't even give you like ribbon abilities that are like dead features, really.
I would be
Except
very
for
satisfied
maybe this
playing
one.
this rogue.
But yeah, I think I feel like this might be like I think this might kind of climb its way into B tier for me.
If you don't
I
do a
think
lot
it's higher
of,
than that, honestly.
You think it's higher than that?
if you
Maybe.
don't do a lot of investigation and sussing out things, I think you feel a little bad. But at the very least, I think it's good in that niche.
I think that is a much bigger niche than just making a disguise for yourself. Like I think it's like 5 times bigger of a niche.
I sort of agree there.
Perception checks are every campaign. Investigation checks are also every campaign, just usually not that often. Like those are always happening. Insight checks, usually those come up in like I'm pretty sure like fucking every campaign.
Yeah, I would be inclined to say that that's common enough.
Those are all very common skills.
And then in combat, you get nothing aside from
The ability
sneak
to
attack a bit
sneak
more.
attack creatures that you wouldn't otherwise be able to sneak attack.
And that's pretty big in my opinion.
I would say for a rogue, that's pretty big. It patches a really
It's
big
not.
weakness that rogues have.
It's not as good in combat as an arcane trickster though.
That's yeah, and so that's why I think I do like putting it kind of in B, because
At this rate, I would probably. I'm already feeling like the arcane trickster is probably
It's gonna be
Probably an
S
S tier, yeah, right?
This
Yeah.
does not feel like a B tier class to me.
It might. So here's the thing, Dan. I'm a
Okay,
little.
yeah.
We'll see, but I'm a little worried that there's a lot of rogues
All right.
that also increase their chances of sneak attacking, and this
Well, then
one needs a
let's-
bonus action.
You're right. Let's play it safe and just put it B tier
Yeah,
because
we
it is
can- we
worse
can-
than arcane trickster, but I do think it's really good.
We can come back to it. Okay, let's talk about the mastermind rogue. Oh god. When you choose this archetype at third
favorite.
level, you gain proficiency with the disguise kit, the forgery kit, and one gaming set of your choice, and you also learn 2 languages. Additionally, you can unerringly mimic the speech patterns and accents of a creature that you hear speak for at least 1 minute, enabling you to pass yourself off as a native speaker of a particular land, provided that you know the language.
Provided that you know the language. That's pretty niche. That's pretty niche.
Yeah, that is pretty niche. Starting at third level, you can use the help action as a bonus action. Additionally, when you use the help action to aid an ally in attacking a creature, the target of that attack can be within 30 feet of you rather than 5 feet of you, if the target can see or hear you. I played this, I believe.
You do have to be pretty close range.
You do have to be close range, and you're using your bonus action to give someone else advantage, which I think is one of those things that will probably depend on your party composition. Honestly, two mastermind rogues are like perfect for each other.
I don't think so. I
No?
think 2 mastermind rogues. You say that's perfect. I think both of them are better off bonus action attacking. That's
Oh,
overall
really?
Better. I think overall Master of Tactics is actually a negative to the party. If you're using this feature, you're hurting your party.
Wrong, because you
Why?
can use it after you've already hit with an attack.
That is true.
You can attack,
Okay.
hit,
And then
sneak attack, and
okay.
if assuming you hit,
That
you
is
then
actually
give someone
true.
a bonus. Whereas otherwise,
That's a good
assuming
point.
your melee attack, yeah.
If you had to
you're in
commit to
melee,
both first, this would be a directly negative feature.
Yeah, you're right.
only
This
if
would
you're
be the
dual
worst.
wielding. If you're a ranged
you didn't
rogue, now
choose,
granted you
yeah.
have to be pretty close to them, so that's sort of the range. Is a little bit
Crossbow
of an
expert
issue.
rogue.
But yeah, that's the other thing.
I do think the reason why I'm always kind of assuming dual wielding is because if we're gonna rate these on a tier list, we have to assume optimal.
Yeah, we
Like,
have to
we
assume
kinda-
at least kind of a similar baseline.
Or
which
we
would
have-
be
we-
what we go for optimal.
Well, the thing is, a ranged rogue just does a lot less damage than a melee rogue.
Yeah.
So it's not really.
Like,
It's kind of hard to rank
unless
it.
a-
that
Yeah, but they're
way.
more likely to survive.
So no,
The
but
range rogues are a thing.
like ranged rogues
Yes.
are a thing, but I think the thing about a ranged rogue is that to really like you're losing. I really don't think that you're properly like estimating how much having a second attack is like a boon.
Are you
It's
kidding? I saw
massive.
Tyler play so many fucking sessions where he just
Ugh.
missed his one attack, and it was painful.
Spending most of your turns doing 0 damage as opposed to spending most of your turns doing sneak attack.
Mhm.
Yeah, like the things that yes, ranged rogues will survive longer generally.
But you're not
speaking.
helping the party by being
But,
alive
like-
and being useless.
Right, like, but you'll generally survive 3 turns anyway, and
That's
like,
still often optimal.
yeah, I was gonna say like in most cases, like as a rogue, you can weave out of combat if it's like actually necessary, and most only last like 3 turns, and you're probably not gonna be eating that many hits if you have an actual like beefy boy in your party, which you might not have, but like, it's like. Melee is like Dan said, it's like 50% more effective or something, right?
Mhm.
Probably,
Or
approximately.
like approximately.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's a big
Guesstimate
big
math.
boost.
It depends on their AC, because that
But
God,
also-
it is very
You
hard.
can't-
to
it's-
value.
But I would
it's
say
hard
I would
to
also
math.
I would
It's
also say
math.
this: if there's any ability in the rogue subclass set list that gives you advantage on ranged attacks, like as a bonus action, for instance, like this argument completely goes out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not willing
I
to.
mean-
I'm not willing. I'm straight up unwilling to accept that you're always dual wielding as a rogue. I refuse.
Arcane tricksters don't have to if they use the help action every turn on their find familiar.
Find familiar.
Familiar, yeah.
Arcane tricksters are one of the safest rogues for that reason.
But anyway, if you're ranged,
Also
this one,
shield.
my big issue with this actually is that if you are a ranged rogue, you are limited to 30 feet, being within 30 feet of someone that's making an attack
painful.
roll. That's the only reason that this really hurts me as a ranged rogue. Otherwise, I could totally see it being fine.
Yeah.
But
Thirty
if you're in
feet is rough.
melee, same deal. Like we already talked about.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of hit attacking and if you get your sneak attack, then you might as well, your bonus action is useless. You might
Yeah.
as well help out your party. Then this is actually pretty high impact.
Yeah, that's why dual wielding is not always valid, because if you have 100% hit rate, the value of your offhand dual wield is almost 0.
When do you have 100% hit rate?
This is on an infinite. This is basically the
Okay,
infinite
okay.
timescale argument, but in
I see.
infinite AC
I thought you were
form.
I thought you were saying like a real situation.
No. This is the hypothetical, right? So the value
Yeah,
is
okay.
starts at 0, almost 0, and then goes to almost infinite. So it's somewhere in there, and depending on how, and it very much depends on the fight. But anyway, let's move on.
I think it also starts. It goes from like 0 to valuable back to 0.
That's true. That's true.
Because if you're always gonna miss,
No, then you always have a 5. Then you've doubled your
5%
of
chance,
critting.
you're right.
Yeah.
double chance to 5%.
Starting at 9th level, if you
use
spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. Oh god. It's one of these! The DM tells you if the creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regards to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice: intelligence score,
2?
wisdom score, charisma score, class levels, if any. And at the DM's option, you might also realize you know a piece of the creature's history or one of its personality traits if it has any.
Why 2? Why would they limit it to 2 of these? It's such
Like-
a minor feature if you get
like-
all of them.
There's okay, so like how we talked about how the battle master ability is basically like completely worthless. This is like giving it the like most minuscule amount of like betterness of
It's
being
pretty much
better,
the same.
but like it is on the scale of things functionally identical. It's like pretty much a dead feature, and this is your 9th level feature.
To be clear, the reason it's slightly better than Battlemaster is because you do it out of combat.
No. The reason is because you get access to their intelligence, wisdom, or charisma scores, which are much more useful out of combat than learning an HP or
infinite
strength
range.
or con score.
And you learn their class levels, whereas the other one was
Oh,
only
it's
fighter
just-
levels.
You're right. This is such a dog shit ability.
I thought the Battle Master one could say total class levels.
I believe it was only
I
fighter
think it was
levels.
only fighter class.
And it's
Look it
only
up.
if you have more or less, and that's
yeah,
the
it doesn't
thing,
tell you
same
the exact
limitation.
number.
It tells you if
Well,
they're
this doesn't
equal
tell
to
you
or-
either.
Yeah.
This
I'm
only
looking
tells
it up
you
and it
equal, superior,
says
inferior.
two of the things are total class levels of any and fighter class levels.
Oh.
Okay.
Armor class.
Oh my
wait,
God.
is this right?
Is it? I don't know.
Okay.
I think our food's
Wait,
here, by
wait.
the way.
Does base Battle Master know that enemy let you know their armor class?
Only if it's higher or lower than yours, if that's the case. Oh yeah, it is one of the options.
Well, they might have changed Battle Master at some point.
Huh.
That's what I'm wondering. If you have a book on you, an old book.
I do have a very old PHP.
Convenient. Because I'm just curious. It's probably the same, but
I don't think they would change that though. But yeah, I'll check. Either way, to do this, you have to watch them fight. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Theirs is also out of combat. Oh, I'm misremembering everything. Oh, I'm full of just. So theirs is also out of combat. So I was wrong about that too. No, it was also armor class. The reason we roasted this so hard
yeah.
was because, well, part of it was because it doesn't actually tell you the value. It just tells you relative to you.
Yeah.
Which can be just
So
completely
you're like, I have
useless,
18
potentially.
AC. All right, they have less.
Hey, I'm back with my sandwich.
Cool.
Sandwich. Be right back.
Okay, nice. And of course, any enemy that was worth using this on would be like, yes, they have more current hit points than you. Of course.
Steven brought my sandwich to me. What a god.
thought to do
That's
that.
so nice. Okay, well, are we sure this isn't worse than the fighter one? I think it is.
It might be, actually.
Because the other one lets you know health and AC, and you know what I mean by no. It gives you information on health and AC, which I think are a lot more valuable than charisma, wisdom, and intelligence. And this only gets
Yeah.
two of them. What
I
is the
think
battle? Does the battle master like you do all of them or one of them? Or?
No, only I think one or two.
Two. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. This is even worse than the Battle Master one. We roasted
That's
the Battle
impressive.
Master one.
Yeah. So this is a horrible feature.
All right. Beginning at 13th level, you can sometimes cause another creature to suffer an attack meant for you. When you are targeted by an attack while... Wait.
Oh, you love these kind of features.
I do. They're
But-
extremely funny, but also, like, why? Why would you have this as your sole 13th level ability?
You can use your action to have the infinite uses.
But okay, keep. You didn't finish it. when
Yeah,
you were,
keep it.
when you were attacked. When you're targeted by an attack while a creature within 5 feet of you is granted
Oh
you
my
cover
God,
against that
you're
attack,
right.
you can use your reaction to have the attack target the creature instead of you. That last bit's important because it makes it
Granting cover?
To grant
a lot
cover?
more niche.
Whoa. That means it has to be a ranged attack, right? Otherwise,
yeah,
they would be next to
basically.
them. It has to be. Or a creature with reach attacking over their ally.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, this is awful.
That's
a
very
bad ability.
rare. That's actually pretty rare to come up now that I think about it.
You can engineer it if you have an ally that you just want to get hit more.
Oh my god. But you just use your reaction to take half damage. You're a rogue. That would be such a waste of your reaction.
That's true.
Oh,
Rogues have so
this
many
is
ways to
terrible.
get out of damage.
This is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
What about the 17th level? Soul of Deceit.
It's also pretty bad.
Starting at 17th level, your thoughts can't be read by telepathy or other means unless you allow it. You can present false thoughts by making a charisma deception check. Oh boy, charisma. Contested by the mind reader's wisdom insight check. Additionally, no matter what you say, magic that would determine if you're telling the truth indicates you're being truthful. If you so choose, and you can't be compelled to tell the truth by magic. This is such a ribbon feature. This is nothing. This is such a baby little. This is just a little. Oh, it's a little flavor feature. Wait, that's your capstone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's tough luck,
Yeah.
buddy. That was your capstone.
This
Gone
made
now.
it to Xanathars.
Wow, that's brutal, man. This class is lucky that its third level stuff is decent because its
Yeah.
9th, 13th, and 17th are all horrendously but terrible.
Yeah.
So you're a third level class and you never get better.
Yep.
And I don't even think they're that good at third level, in my opinion. I think they're all right. They're okay.
Mm-hmm.
God.
My God, is this an F?
No.
Well, let me think about it. Which would you rather have in the average combat at third level,
Assassin.
where this is at its very strongest? An assassin or this?
Assassin.
I might honestly say assassin. This master of
No.
tactics thing's not that impactful.
Not assassin, because you'd have to do nothing but surprise rounds.
I
I
would
guess
rather
it's
do that.
annoying, but
I wouldn't.
this is less annoying.
Yeah, that's it. Literally, it. That is the entirety of my argument. It's much less annoying.
Gaming languages mimicking. That's
But,
basically just more
No.
flavor.
So here's the thing. Consider this is like, would you rather your rogue be able to use the help action as a bonus action if they don't hit, if they do hit their first attack, or would you rather just have your rogue not really like, helping necessarily, but would just have advantage on all attacks on the first turn of combat?
Okay, I think a good comparison here is, let's just assume, I don't know, a 2 or 3 round combat, and a rogue will on average probably hit on 2 of those rounds. An assassin rogue is going to be hitting more often because their first round they're guaranteed going to hit and guaranteed going to crit if it's the surprise round, or they're a nothing rogue, which is base rogue with nothing features. This rogue, how often do you hit your first attack? Probably like 2/3 of the time on average. And then you get that maybe you get 2 help actions in a full combat.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to 2 little piddly attacks. That's something. It'll make your fighter maybe do like a bit more damage. You'll maybe do like 10 or 20 more damage or something. I don't know. That's pretty good. And then the assassin rogue also crit. I think this is actually slightly better than the assassin rogue on average based on most rounds not being surprise rounds. And then once you get to 17th level, the assassin comes out strongly ahead. But 1 through 16, this is slightly better than assassin. But like, I don't think nearly enough to put it in like another tier. I think it's just another D tier.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
I
with
don't
that.
It's
think
very
it quite
similar
hits
to-
F. Just
I
because
think it's very similar to assassin.
I do think at will advantage to your party is good.
Yeah.
At range even, but other than that, yeah.
I think it's very comparable to assassin, surprisingly.
It's a lot worse than I was expecting. Yeah, I'd forgotten. I was like, I don't remember what else this mastermind
God,
rogue
this
gets.
was so
I thought
long.
Mastermind was decent. It was
Yeah.
not.
Well, it could have been decent if it brought a lot of utility, but it kind of brought
Political campaigns.
it brought a lot
doesn't.
less than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like actually weirdly worthless in terms of utility.
yeah, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. You can start reading the other one or whatever.
No, we're gonna take a break to eat our sandwiches.
Because the 13th. Yeah, the 13th is really, really niche. Hey, you can use it infinitely, if you somehow engineer a scenario where an enemy is providing cover for you.
What scenario in using that would
I've-
actually be like worth using that and not just like eating the damage because it's like less work?
I have no idea.
Okay, here's my idea. So it's a boss fight with a bunch of goblins that spawn infinitely and one really big giant that only uses a massive giga great bow. There you go. There's the use case.
Mm-hmm. Totally random.
You know what? I think Dan, it's either Dan or you said this, but I think you're right. I think you would just use this on your party members rather than yourself, rather than enemies. Really.
Oh, yeah. But the funny thing about that is that you have to use it against enemies that you have to use it on party members that should take damage other than you. And because otherwise Otherwise, you could use that reaction to have the damage, and that's just a net increase in health for the whole party.
True.
So the distribution of health has to be really particular, because otherwise the net health of your entire party is worse off if you use that feature rather than have the damage. Like, you have to be low health to do it, for instance, and so you have to have someone that should get hit over you near you,
Or
providing
you just be
cover
mean.
from that attack. Oh god, it is really niche.
Or a barbarian.
Yes, that's the one. True.
I love that at this point, both my Saturday and Sunday streams have a portion dedicated to just us eating. Because dinner usually finishes around 8 anyway in his household. So we're just like eating during the Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
And this happens during lunchtime. Like,
You're
we do need to eat.
weak. I don't eat during raid. I get shit on by Atlas, who laughs at me when he's like, "You're eating dinner at 10 p.m." Oh. Except for the times you bring me food. That's always nice.
Yeah, I wonder if sometimes I wonder if that was helpful.
Oh, I couldn't always eat it, but it was very, very nice. Thank you. We're just concerned about you. I'm fine. Mostly. Yeah. When do you eat dinner, Armor? Do you eat dinner before raid? Because I know Dan obviously eats, I mean, whenever the fuck.
As far as I know, Dan does not exist on like a real human's time schedule.
It's impossible to know.
Dan's kind of a concept at this point.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Was Armor the one that did the grub painting?
Yeah. The maggot painting in Davis.
The maggot painting, yeah. You always feel like some features of Phantom and Soul Knife should be swapped. Interesting. I'm looking forward to taking a look. These are the rogues I know a lot less about because like I stopped playing rogues right around when my last swashbuckler got giga killed by a Constitution saving throw.
Were you ranged or melee?
I mean, I was a swashbuckler. I was a melee character.
Yeah, you have to be then.
No, okay, but everybody got hit by the damage. It was like a giga dragon breath. I think we took like 200 damage and I died instantly because I couldn't reduce it in any way.
Oh my god.
Was it a con save?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get hit by a con save and it does 200 damage and you don't have that many hit points. And you die instantly, for real.
You're like, haha, dragon's breath. I specialize. It's con. Uh-oh.
I'm like,
This, I believe this is the one that Mads played.
yes, correct.
Phantom.
Yeah, I thought it was Phantom. Yeah.
All right, somebody read it up for me.
Have you guys not read anything yet?
Nope.
No, we were eating and chatting.
How dare you? Anyway.
How
Can
dare
you
we
read
be
this?
Social.
Okay, let me open it up though, because Phantom. Alright, the first feature. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, echoes of those who have died cling to you. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can gain 1 skill or tool proficiency of your choice. Oh, that's right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Is it useful? We'll see. Probably not, but maybe a little bit. As a ghostly presence shares its knowledge with you. You lose this proficiency when you use this feature to choose a different proficiency that you lack. Okay. It's niche. It lets you grab proficiencies when needed, which is cool. And depends on the campaign how useful it is. Wails from the Grave. At 3rd level, as you nudge someone closer to the grave, you can channel the power of death to harm someone else as well. Nudge them too. Immediately after you deal your sneak attack damage to a creature on your turn, you can target a second creature that you can see within 30 feet of the first creature. Roll half the number of sneak attack dice for your level, rounded up. Wait, that's illegal. And the second creature takes necrotic damage equal to the roll's total as wails of the dead sound around them for a moment. That's really cool. You can use this feature a number of times equal to proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. That is a very strong feature.
It's a very strong feature. I remember it being really strong, and I would just like to highlight this message in chat. It says, if a DM asks for an int or charisma save and you fail, you know you're dead.
Yes, who said that? I didn't do anything.
I wonder what it would be like if your whole party did not have intelligence and you just got psychic screamed and were
is it my problem that not all of you dumped intelligence?
I didn't dump intelligence. I succeeded the save eventually.
The barbarian did.
The barbarian is the smartest of us all.
The one person who didn't dump intelligence was unconscious, you may recall.
Oh, that's
Correct.
right. They got
You
fucking
killed him.
yeeted. Anyway, let's move on.
I would like to point
right.
out that I, in the previous session prior to that, made a or two sessions, failed an int save and was perfectly fine. I just had one intelligence and charisma, but honestly, that made no difference.
Mm-hmm. One of these days, they're just gonna cast Maze on one of you and go, "Sorry, you don't get to play D&D today."
My God.
Wait, yeah. DC 20.
You want to make yourself some dinner or something?
Oh my God. You know what's really funny is if you do that to me, I've now got like the second highest intelligence of the party.
Oh.
My barbarian has 22 intelligence.
You know what? I think in a weird way that Psychic Scream made you smarter. I think it like unlocked something in your character's brain.
Maybe Tornin was originally not that dumb.
No, you know what?
And all
Absolutely.
the brain damage.
He
all
lost
the brain damage.
He lost it all when he got resurrected for the 18 millionth time. You just leave a little piece of your behind.
Remember Tormuk the Reborn, but that were reverse.
Yeah.
Rogues are fine for utility, but rogue players can sometimes feel if there's no lockpick or snooping to be done, they might feel distance from the plot. While Whispers of the Dead can help a player tailor themselves to the campaign flavor. Yeah, I will say,
True.
I like
That's a good
Phantom
point.
just in terms of like the flavor it has because like it's true. Rogues are very much like they're kind
Skill
of like
monkeys.
built for right. They're built for like a couple of skills, and if those skills aren't really coming up that often, like if you're playing in a game where you're just tackling a lot of dungeons and they don't have a lot of locked doors, or there's not a lot of people to socialize with, right? So you could feel a little bit like, well, a lot of my stuff is geared towards that, so like what am I here for? Or like if your wizard just casts like knock every single time, you're like, I got this, and your wizard's like, nah, don't worry about it, I got some spell slots, and they just kind of like slap some spell slots at you like you're a peasant, and they're like showering you with money. They're like, yes, take it, peasant.
Yeah, it does solve the problem of trying to guess which skills will be most useful that campaign if you want to, because you can just swap it.
It's true. I do think that problem is not that big of a problem, especially for rogues, because rogues get a lot of skills. I think rogues get like 90% of the useful skills, like innately.
I think so too. Yeah, I think you
and like this helps you touch up the last 10%.
Mm-hmm.
But which is great. And,
yeah, but I mean, honestly, this is like it's a third level feature that is more in line with a ribbon ability than not, because even though it's like, I would say it's still pretty generally useful. Like we've talked about how useful it is to just like get bonus proficiencies.
And then their combat third level feature makes them out DPS arcane tricksters.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this. It's a pretty like good skill ability attached to an incredible combat ability.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit!
Okay.
Right, I think my one issue with Whales from the Grave is that proficiency limitation does hurt a little, particularly at low levels.
At lower levels, yeah.
But you will, if you do a lot of combats in a day, this is actually pretty rough. But if you don't do that, then it's because at third level you get 2.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Don't you mean yeah, 2? Okay.
Well, you get
I was saying,
you get 2
3.
at third level, and then you get 3.
So
at
for
fifth
one
level.
combat, you'll out DPS the arcane trickster.
Yeah,
In
but
the next combat, you won't.
potentially, but it does scale.
Mhm.
It does. Like by the end, you've got like 6 of them.
Mhm.
It's pretty solid. Okay.
Yeah, that is good though.
When
Okay.
and when at 9th level, when a life ends in your presence, you're able to snatch a token from the departing soul, a sliver of his life essence. Okay, but this is also like you'll have 5e is moving away from single long rest abilities and doing more per proficiency bonus of spending spell slots to regain features. Yeah, I like that too, especially because like the
True.
pace that they like claim that they want you to play at, where you want to do a lot of encounters in one day, doesn't make sense for like 90% of the classes. It's like, yes, your warlock and your fighter will be ecstatic. Everyone else is like, fuck.
Good thing most people play warlocks and fighters.
True.
Nah, just
Yeah,
kidding.
definitely not wizards. Let's see. You're able to snatch a token from a departing soul. As a reaction, when a creature you can see dies within 30 feet of you, you can open your free hand and cause a tiny trinket to appear there. A soul trinket. The DM determines the trinket's form or has you roll on the trinkets table in the player's handbook to generate it. Oh, that's pretty funny. Remember trinkets?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Did you guys roll for trinkets at the start of my campaign?
No.
Oh, shame. I guess that's why you kept dying.
Probably.
No,
Feels like
that's
they're
by
encouraging
design,
players to
Dan.
feel less like they have to save stuff.
No, it had
and
nothing to do with
moving
me, clearly.
No,
Yeah.
I was supposed to keep dying.
So this
Oh.
okay. This is my hot
I
take
get
about
it.
this is my hot take about Dungeons and Dragons, right? Is that I think that Dungeons and Dragons is best played like an MMO where you just kind of like go into a raid and you like pop all your cooldowns and
Oh my God.
and you just play your brains out, right? And then that's it. It's like the one big meaningful encounter in your day, right? Because like I understand the value of like having shorter encounters, like more spread out through the day, and like having like having like the like beset upon by goblins, but like it's actually
Yeah.
not that interesting when you just like fight a bunch of goblins all the time, right?
I totally get it, but I think in most campaigns that's fine. But I think the campaigns where that isn't the case, and these are my favorite campaigns, is if there is a time constraint. I think
Yeah,
time
that's
constraints
true.
make campaigns really interesting because they don't just spam long rests.
you need the kind of like limitations to
Like,
make
oh,
it
the city's
interesting.
gonna get overrun in 12 days. We have to save the city, Patrick.
I think
Oh.
at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to it's just oh shit,
Random
sorry.
bullshit.
Yeah, sorry. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it just comes down to the fact that it is easier to build meaning into like a big set piece fight than it is to build meaning into being beset upon by like hundreds of bandits. Right. Which is probably why I generally kind of prefer it, but no, I mean I completely understand. But also like it does kind of suck to have an ability that like you're like, this is my cool, interesting ability. Uses it. All right, I'll see you guys in like next session.
There's a balance to be struck there, but I kind of want to move on because I actually don't have that much time. I kind of want to be done by 1ish.
All right, fine. So at 9th level, when a life okay, I read this. While a soul trinket is on your person, you can have a maximum number equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
While one is on your person, you have advantage on death saving throws and constitution saving throws. For your vitality is enhanced by the life essence within the object. When you deal sneak attack damage on your turn, you can destroy one of your soul trinkets that's on your person and then immediately use Wails from the Grave without expending a use of that feature. Okay, all right.
I was just I was just about to say earlier about how, like, yes, I like that they're kind of going towards letting you just kind of do a whole bunch of features. Don't feel like you're saving resources. But this feature's strong enough that I like the restriction of, twice per short rest, and, it goes up to 6. And then here, they're like, actually, you get more.
Would you like some free trinkets?
Oh, but you have to steal the life essence of a departing soul.
And you do have to use your reaction, what rogues like to do, which
rogues like to have access to, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's got a cost. It's got a cost. But
I think it's fine.
It does.
I love this.
It
You're
does.
right.
It's a
and
good
like,
9th level feature.
I think also it plays more interestingly, right? Because it's not just that like you get more uses of it. It's that you basically have a limitation that is pretty common, but you do somewhat still have to engineer. But it's also interesting because it's just like you're basically chaining Wails from the Grave off each other.
And the last feature was great. I was DM in a campaign where a certain someone interrogated the corpses of the enemies. Why capture people and interrogate them and have to deal with like this? Oh, I don't want to answer questions. Yada yada. Oh, do we spare them now that they've answered questions? Or we just ace them? No. You just kill them and ask their soul.
Yes, you are correct. This is predicated on actually murdering creatures.
Yeah.
But that last feature is really good. And I think it fits parties a lot more than actually just capturing people.
Yeah, you can ask the spirit associated with the trinket. Yeah, honestly, like this is probably like shockingly one of the more used abilities in this feature set. Despite Whales of the Grave, you're obviously using that all the time.
I mean, one of them's a pass. I think they all get used. One of them's a passive, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's true. You're right.
God,
this
can we
class is
discuss
so
the
good.
Can we discuss advantage on con saves for
Yeah.
a rogue? Ooh,
That's
boy.
amazing.
God, that's the biggest fucking weakness of rogues.
It's also just like, you know, you can horrify your entire party by killing somebody and then taking their soul and then being like, hey, shakes jar.
Is Mad still in chat? Just asking for no reason
Just
in
asking
particular.
for no particular reason at all.
Yeah.
Shake.
At 13th level, you can phase partially into the realm of the dead, becoming like a ghost. As a bonus action, you assume a spectral form. While in this form, you have a flying speed of 10 feet. You can hover, and attack rolls have disadvantage against you. You can also move through
my
creatures and
God.
objects as if they were difficult terrain, but you take 1d10 force damage if you end your turn inside a creature or an object. You can stay in this form for 10 minutes, or until you end it as a bonus action. To use this feature again, you must finish a long rest or destroy one of your soul trinkets as part of the bonus action.
It's so nuts.
You use to activate
It's
Ghost Bluff.
insane.
This is insanely good, and also like I kind of like that this class, it actually feels a lot like an MMO class. It has built-in cooldown reduction.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I like the 10 feet fly speed is just enough to get to the point where people can't reach you mostly.
Yeah, and then you can hover.
Attacks of disadvantage against you. It's amazing. There's no
Yes,
concentration.
There's no
Imagine an
downside to
arcane-
this at all.
An arcane trickster would have to cast blur and concentrate on it,
Yeah.
and they barely get any of those, and they don't get to fucking fly at the same time. They don't...
And it's basically
Oh my God.
infinite as long as you're okay with killing lots of people, which a lot of D&D parties are. A lot of 5e content is adding a lot of longer length fly speeds. Yeah, I would imagine that they're trying to solve this problem. If you're only like fighting like
Yeah.
a creature that can ram you with its big horn, flying does kind of just trivialize it into nothingness.
I mean, and this token to the departed thing, you can have infinite souls if you want to be an absolute sicko. You can just like fucking raise bugs
Ew.
and just harvest them for their souls.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like any creature.
when a
That's-
creature,
that's terrible.
You can see
Oh my god.
Ah,
What?
evil.
literally a fly. You could have fruit flies. You could just be a little fruit fly. It's time to extract
Wait,
one of
that's-
my souls.
Ew.
Wait, that's such a silly exploit.
Genie
I mean,
Warlock. Yeah, we are.
what's
We're
it-
quite familiar with Genie Warlock. aren't
God, I
we,
love Genie
Sean?
Warlock. That was the same campaign as Matt's playing this subclass.
Oh my God, you're right. We played all the fucking classes at once.
That was really
What
fun.
did I
The,
play?
the primary form of attack, right?
You were playing
Oh, that
Wolf.
was the Wolf campaign, wasn't it?
That was a
Yeah.
fucky campaign. Everyone was fucky.
Everyone was fucky. I played the Path of the Beast Barbarian.
Oh my god, Evan.
Speaking of int saves and fruit flies,
I don't know what a swarm keeper is.
Swarmkeeper is the ranger we covered last time. The bug
Yeah,
ranger.
Oh
The
yeah.
the weird ranger.
Okay, okay, all right. One more.
Amazing.
Even though I know, I
Yes,
kind of
good.
know where this class is already. At 17th level, you can when you use your whales from the grave, you can now deal the necrotic damage to both the first and second creature. It's just nuts.
Nuts.
That's unbelievable.
At the end of your long rest, a soul trinket appears in your hand if you don't have any soul trinkets, as the spirits of the dead are drawn to.
That's
you.
kind of meh.
That's kind of whatever, but like you do start every like day with one, which is like nice,
I guess.
even though not
You know what?
necessary.
Hold on. What happens if you use the third feature of Tokens of the Departed to a random soul trinket that you get?
Oh my
They
god.
will tell you
You're
what
right.
they know, which is probably not a lot.
God, I would.
You get
I
the
would-
sad tale of that squirrel that fell out of a tree in your sleep.
Yeah, it is also creatures, right? So it's like, all right, tell me what you know, shakes jar. Bzzz. Oh, fair enough.
Oh, it was actually this isn't one of my fruit flies. This is just this is some weird neighboring unrelated fruit fly.
Okay, so I mean, no
I think this is
discussion here.
better
This is an
than
S tier
Arcane.
class.
Yeah, that's S.
I think it's S tier.
It's
Yeah,
easy. It's easy. Okay, all right.
It's definitely better than Arcane Trickster.
Can we do one more and
We can do
Yeah.
one more and call it. Yeah, because we do have to do some
Okay,
renovation.
short session.
yeah, sorry, but I've got so much shit to do today. Oh my god.
You've got so much shit to do. Starting at 3rd level, so this is the revived rogue, which is an unearthed arcana. Looks like it's the only one that didn't really make
I
it.
do kind of feel like he.
So
Wait, is this the only?
I think this is the only
You're
unearthed
right.
arcana. It's because the revive is the
Yeah.
unearthed arcana one, and then wild card is a rune terra.
So we're doing revive now. Wait,
Yes.
cool.
So
cool.
it's funny. Apparently, actually looking at it, this seems like a little similar to Phantom, but not quite. So at 3rd level, you remember talents you had in your previous life. When you finish a long rest, you gain 1 skill or tool proficiency of your choice. You can replace this proficiency with another when you finish a long rest. I wonder where I've heard that one before.
Wait minute.
Wait a minute.
When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, your newfound connection to death gives you the following benefits. Didn't Brendan
that's
play
different.
this? I think Brendan
No.
played this.
No, he played an older version of Soul Knife.
Oh, okay.
I think.
You have an advantage on saving throws against disease and being poisoned, and you have resistance to poison damage. Poison damage, very common. Pretty good. You don't need to eat, drink, or breathe. You don't need to sleep. When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 4 hours in an inactive, motionless state rather than sleeping. In this state, you remain semi-conscious, and you can hear as normal. And also, at 3rd level, you have learned to unleash bolts of necrotic energy from your revived body. Immediately after you use your cunning action, you can make a ranged spell attack against a creature within 30 feet of you, provided you haven't used your sneak attack this turn. You are proficient with it. You add your dexterity modifier to its attack and damage rolls. A creature hit by this attack takes necrotic damage equal to your sneak attack. This uses your sneak attack for the turn. So you get a ranged sneak attack.
Wait. You can use your action to shoot a bow, and then your bonus action to dash and make a ranged attack
Correct.
Yes.
with someone 30 feet. But you can dash in and then dash back out. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Wait, that's really good.
This is
gets two
This is
attacks.
really good.
This is the one you were talking about earlier, kind of, where you were saying like if there's a ranged rogue that gets advantage. This is kind of that.
It sort of is, or at the very least, this rogue doesn't get punished by if you
using
if you
ranged attacks,
if you miss your first one and don't use your sneak attack. Guess what you can do? You can use a bonus action to sneak
Yeah, which is
attack.
functionally the same. So,
But you can also dash, so it's
you
actually
can
really
also
good.
dash or disengage. Actually, even.
Wait. I see. Does this I see. Immediately after you use your conscious, I think it lets you dash and make this ranged attack. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, it's super good. And
It's your cunning action, so you can disengage too.
but if you've already sneak attacked, you can't make this ranged attack. That's the key bit, right? So you're still only getting 1 sneak attack per turn, no matter what. So really, how I view this is,
You should do this first.
no, I mean, sure, it doesn't matter the order, because you're still only getting 1 sneak attack, and you're still only getting 1 attack.
Technically, if you do this first, you can
Wait,
get
you
your
add your
other
dex.
attack and get a little bit of trivial damage.
Oh shit, you're right. Technically,
Honestly,
really
this
funny.
is really
You
funny
should
because
do this first.
I thought it was
This-
just sneak attack.
this actually because it's basically a bonus action attack. You can use your action for whatever that isn't attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even
best
drink a
thing's probably
potion if you
attacking.
want to.
Yeah, probably.
But this does, this actually is kind of like Thief Rogue, where you can use,
It's like,
a whole bunch
yeah,
of things that you can
reverse
do with
Thief
an
Rogue.
action. Now you can use a bonus action. This one is just like, oh no, your bonus action is now occupied. You're always using your bonus action, cunning action every turn, no matter what. Your action is the one that's free, and that's way better.
Yeah.
It is. It is way better.
So you don't get punished for being a ranged rogue as this class so far,
No,
at least.
this is you would definitely be a ranged class rogue with this, 100%.
Yeah. You would be untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
So at 9th level, you can create a link with a spirit through their corpse.
Yeah.
When you do so, you cast the Speak with Dead spell without using a spell slot or material components. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for this spell. Speaking with the dead in this way temporarily gives you a capability from a past life you're unsure whether it's from your past life or the spirits. When the spell ends, you gain 1 random benefit from the revived capabilities table. These benefits last until you finish a short or long rest, and it's a D3 table, which is just awful. You learn how to speak, read, and write 1 language of your choice. You gain 1 skill or tool proficiency of your choice. You
I
gain
know how much you love
proficiency with 1
D3s.
saving throw of your choice. After you cast this spell with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest.
God, that's annoying.
That is super, super annoying. But you can get free proficiency in saving throw.
Yeah, but you're gonna be like, all right, we know we're about to fight a dragon that does cold damage. We need some proficiency in con saves. Let's roll our D3. Okay, we get a language. All right, that's
Yeah, like
that's cool, I guess. Do you go to
That's fair.
sleep and just keep going to sleep until you get this?
yeah,
This
God.
is very much an I see dead people thing. You're like,
What?
hey, can I talk to that skeleton?
I see why this wasn't written because they should have just let you choose.
They should have just let you choose. Yeah.
Yeah, your odds of getting the one that you want aren't always like you.
I think that's
odds of
why they
getting one
made
that
it a
you can't,
D3 even, right? To like
It
up
is.
the odds of getting the saving throw, but it's still just like
Ugh.
jank.
Like you
Yeah, but
might.
other times you want the skill.
Yep.
But there's never a situation that I can think of where you'd want two of these. It's always a 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every time you use this feature, there's a 2 out of 3 chance it does nothing.
Which is just bad. It's just bad
Yeah,
design.
Yeah.
that's annoying.
Poor design.
Anyway, at 13th level, when at death's door, you can converse with the powers of death. You have advantage on death saving throws, and whenever you make a death saving throw, your spirit can ask an entity of death a question that can be answered with yes, no, or unknown. The entity answers truthfully using the knowledge of all those who have died. What the fuck? In addition, whenever you have 0 hit points and are healed or stabilized, you can change any of your personal characteristics, personality trait, ideal bond, or flaw. Why is this written in here?
Uh,
Oh my god. I mean, okay, I know why, but like that's so funny. I feel like this is actually low-key one of the coolest abilities.
Yeah. In terms of like theming,
come back
oh
as a
my
new
God, yeah.
person.
Well, no, just like fucking dying and like being thrown into death saving throws and being like, "Hey, death, can you answer for me a question using the collective knowledge of all those who have ever perished?"
Mm-hmm.
Like that's metal as fuck.
But I also like I think that's a medal as well. Of course, it was great. But I really like the second feature as well. I almost like that one more, where you can actually choose to come back if you want to roleplay this way as an entirely different person. Like you are a new soul, like another like
You were
this is
revived
supposed to be-
once more.
Exactly, you revived again. You are now another
is
past
which is
life or
pretty
something.
cool.
I don't know. You know?
I
That's
do
cool.
kind of like all the cool death stuff.
In terms
How-
of raw power level,
Nothing.
how valuable do you consider
like 0.
advantage on death saving throws?
Like 0.
It is
Point
very
0.01.
almost very few sessions will you ever have your character go to death saving throws, or what? Like in most campaigns,
I kind of agree. Yeah.
Especially okay. Think about it this way: you are a ranged rogue that is going to be either dashing, disengaging, or hiding every single turn without fail. You are not gonna die.
Yeah.
You are so
That's
safe.
true.
And I was going to put that up in the rankings. Like, how valuable is it for a rogue that is a ranged rogue with 2 attacks return that is that safe? It's incredibly valuable, I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to die. This feature's not going to come up.
This feature it feels like one of those things that you will use in completely the wrong way, right? You are going to use this when you want to know something, and your party is going to put you at 0 hit points so that you can ask death. Like you know that's what's gonna happen.
I thought
Probably.
about that.
I'm disappointed that they gave this class a super cool feature for when they die. And those features when you die are normally lame. And they made it the safest rogue.
It's true. As 5e
This
is
is
making
the-
classes with more unique features, how do you feel they might help non-magic classes feel like they have a place in more epic level content, where traditionally classes like fighters or barbarians might feel like they have less to add?
Big magic weapon.
Big magic weapon. No, I mean, I think a lot of that just has to do with giving classes interesting things that they can do and interesting choices they can make in character customization that aren't just subclasses, right? Like, this is why we really like fighters like the Arcane Archer, if you subtract the fact that you can only use 2 arrows, period, and they're not all very good. And Battle Master is because, like, you actually get a lot of options for how to play, right? Like, if we're looking at the spectrum of, like, magic casters and, non-magic classes, right? You don't have to worry about exhaustion. You just die. Go until you die, picking your kid. Yeah. The thing about, I would say, melee classes, or, like, non-magic classes in general, is they excel in not having exhaustible resources in the same way that spell slots are exhaustible. But when you're at like 20th level, for instance, you really aren't going to run out of spells in any meaningful way, which removes like the biggest limitation that casters basically ever had to begin
And
with.
the biggest pro that melee or that non-casters
Right.
have. Yeah.
So
I like that's a good point. Yeah.
So to me, it just feels like you have to shore up like an aspect of melee classes in general, like martial classes in general that like is on the opposite side of that. You have to shore up the fact that they're like really bad at all the things that magic can do.
I think non-magic classes just need really cool subclass features.
Yes.
And I think their power level at lower levels is actually just fine right
I think
now.
it's fine.
I just think once you're beyond like level 11 though, they really fall off. If you give them some like nutty features, like Paladin level 20 features, give those to more martial class. This is like earlier.
I think D&D is like really. This is really funny, right? Because D&D is so deathly afraid of basically like breaking quote unquote their fantasy veneer by letting barbarians fly or whatever, right? And it's like, listen, I don't know about you, but the wizard can literally stop time. I don't know if at that point we should really be worrying about the fact that fighters can make 8 attacks in a turn.
And the other thing is, and that's sort of it, is you have to give them features that there don't exist spells for already. I'm now realizing that
Which
the reason
is really difficult,
the reason I'm not bored playing Barbarian at 20th level is because Zealot Barbarian does something no other class can fucking do, which is survive forever. For fucking ever.
Never die. Yeah, I mean, I think there are certain classes that would not necessarily win in a straight up fight, right? Like if Tornin ever just got like mazed, he'd die.
No, not mazed, but all it takes is like one fucking power word death and I'd die, right?
Right, exactly. Like, I think it's funny because like the designers are like so afraid of giving martial classes anything when really at like the higher levels they should be giving them so much more than they get. Right? They should be
keep them about the same at low levels. Just give them more high level stuff.
At low levels, they're perfectly fine. But I think, and you tend to find this with most, because most subclasses don't get like that many new features at higher levels, right? You get like basically 2 from level like 11 to 20. Right,
like rangers and bards, their capstones are shit. Like you get one more use of your shitty little nothing feature.
Yeah, like the 1v1 scenario you can argue to the death, and it doesn't really matter if one class can 1v1 another one because that almost never comes up. But they need to be able to do something that the magic casters can't really do that well.
Which like.
And ideally it should be a lot of things because at that point the casters have a billion things to choose from. If you're I guess you should have the one stand and hit barbarian class, but even so,
a wizard can use basically any spell in its arsenal. Like a wizard will have most spells at 20th level, and most of them can be used in some form or another to bypass challenges, right? And a lot of that time, those challenges are meant for rogues, right? Why would you have a rogue pick a lock if you can just teleport everyone and it's not actually going to impact you that much because you don't really care about spell slots anymore?
Well, I think we should. We're on the last feature.
Okay, yeah, we should move that one. Let's see. You have the ability to slip in and out of the ethereal plane. You can now use your cunning action to teleport to an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you. Woo! Oh, okay. You don't need to see that space to teleport to it. Oh, baby.
Yes.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. But your teleportation fails, wasting bonus action if you attempt. If you attempt to teleport through magical force that is medium or larger, such as a wall of force. Okay. If you appear in a space occupied by another creature or filled by an object, you're immediately shunted to the nearest unoccupied space that you can occupy and take force damage equal to twice the number of feet you are shunted. Wow. Yeah, this is just really, really strong. It makes you stronger.
Misty Step, but better. Bonus action unlimited. Yes, please. And you also get a ranged attack when you do it because it's tied to your cunning action.
Yep.
This is before you had your cunning action, which lets you do hide, but it also lets you do dash or disengage. This is dash and disengage, but better because Misty Step is better than a dash disengage.
Yeah, and it's better than Misty Step because you don't have to see and. The ranged attack that you can do as a bonus action when you use your cunning action, you get it here too.
You're
Okay.
unlockdownable base. You're super nearly unkillable. You're just teleporting around every turn, and you're doing 2 attacks from range. No one's gonna ever catch you. You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
You already were hard to like. You were already nearly catchable, unkillable.
So, do you think this is an S tier class? 'Cause,
Well, let's think about it. You don't do any more DPS.
no.
I'm not valuing the necrotic damage over normal damage. Like it's slightly more.
It's
DPS,
whatever,
but
right?
it's whatever. You're basically doing the DPS of a nothing feature base melee dual wielding rogue, but you are nearly unkillable, and you have
Yes.
good some utility. How much do we value the utility of tokens of past lives
Not a lot.
and like
really.
revived nature?
I
like-
would say that the connect with the dead feature is just too unpredictable.
That one I'm pretty much valuing as nothing, but its first 2 features, its third level features, are those worth much?
The
Disease and
poison resistance to poison damage is like pretty
Picking
okay.
picking
The
one
poison is a
skill
common
per
damage
long
type.
rest is all right.
That's all right
This is
utility.
all right.
Ooh, resistance to
and-
poison damage. Yeah, that's actually pretty.
Yeah.
Good. Poison damage is common.
And then obviously you don't need to eat, drink, or breathe, which can open up some interesting things potentially. But
Mhm.
you know that'll depend on the game.
Mainly, I just think. Yeah, go ahead.
My take was going to be that I don't think rogues need to do that much more damage.
No,
I think you
Yeah.
just most of the time you just need to get your sneak attack off
You just need to,
to be
live.
get it in, right?
and live, and
gives
this
you a
does it.
better way of
this does
I
it
think
great.
this feels to me like the abilities that you get from Bolts of the Grave and Ethereal Jaunt to me feel like the maximized base abilities of a rogue. You feel like a maximized base rogue.
To me, this feels like on the same power level as Arcane Trickster because it is more reliable in combat than Arcane Trickster and safer, but with less utility. Like,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would be okay saying that.
I
yeah.
don't think it's as good as the S tier one, but like this is the safest rogue.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay, nice. Well, so we have to dip now
agreement.
to fix our rooming situation in preparation for Tyler moving in next week. So we are going to go and leave this off here and pick this up next week. I will say this: my hot take about Dungeons and Dragons is that Dungeons and Dragons is like it just needs to become more anime.
Oh my
And
god!
I mean this in the most sincere way possible.
That's your
Right?
hot take about everything,
I
Josh.
know it's
It
my hot take
is.
about everything, but like,
It is. It
but
is.
here's the thing, right? Is that like for some reason the fantasy of playing a wizard and the fantasy of playing a fighter appear to be vastly different genres for some reason. Like wizards are here, they're like, I'm playing God. I can conjure money out of thin air. I can stop time. I can shift the entire dimensional planes. Right, I can teleport wherever I want to. And a fighter is like, I'm playing a gritty martial fantasy where I can attack really a lot. like, there's a disconnect here, and I think all you have to do is just start patching stuff, right? Like fucking. Like you look at fucking One Piece, right? These guys
One
aren't
Piece.
like wizards, but they're like, okay, so I have the power with my sheer force of will to make other people bow to me.
My magic punch. It's
Right,
not
it's like-
magic. I'm just that force of will. I guess is the way
Right,
you put it. That's kind of accurate.
It's like the main character of One Piece is made of rubber. That's his superpower.
Yeah. Otherwise, he's just a guy made of rubber. If you were made of rubber, do you think you could do what he could? No, no.
no, not at all. Zoro is the perfect warrior archetype.
I would just turn
Exactly!
into. I would just kind of fall over.
Like I think Dungeons and Dragons martial classes could do with just like a little bit of movement away from like the like Warhammer fantasy kind of like yes, grim. I'm the ranger of the forest. Here is my wild pet. It's like I don't know, man. Make them machine gun shoot arrows. Like who cares? Who gives a shit?
All right.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening to my rant about the way that 5e is designed. You know,
But it's real
you know I
fun.
love this game because I won't stop talking about how much I hate it.
Hey, have you heard of our game World of Warcraft?
World of
Oh my
Warcraft
God,
Classic.
yes.
Oh my god, tell me more.
I could tell you lots of bad things.
Yeah, it is pretty stark when you look at what a fighter can do versus what a wizard can do, huh?
Yeah. Oh.
It's not even on the same realm. Like, a fighter can swing their sword 8 times, a wizard can call down meteors to wipe an army.
Yep.
Ugh. Maybe fighters should be able to attack 10 times. It's me. I am your fighter. Yeah, that's true, Evan. You are our fighter. Actually, we do find your presence very useful because you do destroy immunities for us. More attacks is a solution. Yeah.
Is it? At what point does it get to be like, actually, 29 attacks wasn't enough? Can we buff them up to like 34 attacks per turn?
No, we'll take the Blizzard approach to it. We'll like rework fighters so that they can attack on like a 20-second cooldown 80 times, and then we'll realize it's a little bit overtuned, so we'll go to 79, and it will be perfectly balanced.
The Blizzard solution is actually because you need a wizard for Meteor Swarm. We're just going to give Meteor Swarm to the fighter as well.
Oh, that's it. That's the play.
What?
That's give every class every ability.
Just attack life points directly, automatically failing your first 2 death saves. That's what it should do. A fighter attack should give the enemy exhaustion.
Oh my god.
Direct attack. All right. Well, we'll still see you next week.
Farewell.
See ya next Sunday.
Maybe.
Thanks for coming.
Definitely.
Dan, Tyler's moving in next weekend.
Oh, you're definitely
It'll
going
be
to be.
fine.
We will see how
fine.
Saturday goes.
It'll be fine.
Thanks for watching.